Joining us for more on this is Charles Fakroha, stockbroker and iBrandTV senior business analyst. He joins us via the telephone. Hello, Charles. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Perpetua. Thank you for having me.
All right, let's start with the very first story. That's about CBN loan. Federal government allocating 1.2 trillion naira to the ways and means advances. Talk to us about that. And this is the very first time we are seeing the federal government, making budgetary allocation for that.
Yes, well, I will first of all commend the federal government for pulling up to their loans and making arrangements to see how that loan can be taken care of. The issue now is not going back to how we incur the debt. The debts have been incurred. The issue now is how to pay back. I mean, for you to be a good debtor, what you take a debt, ensure that you make arrangement for payment of those debts. And that's what the federal government has demonstrated. However, it does not really go down with some of us, only the average Nigerian, because the process involved in terms of collecting those loans were not duly followed. So certain provisions were breached, and that's where we were having issues with them. Now, yes, they are making arrangements to pay back those loans, a very good development, and we just believe that both the CBN, the executive, and of course the legislators will come to a roundtable agreement as to how the implementation of this strategy in terms of paying back this money they have collected from Central Bank of Nigeria.
Right, but some presidents are beginning to ask questions using the Ghana example. What can be done to ensure that we do not experience what Ghana is experiencing, or we do not get to that point where Ghana is now? Does it look like we're putting enough plans in place to avert that kind of occurrence?
Yes, we have learned our lessons, we have seen it, and responsibility is now on the National Assembly members. So that and of course the CBN governor too, for any ways and means borrowing, which we know is to the federal government to short-term funding to assist federal government to meet up while they are waiting for their revenue. So it's a good way of financing the budget. Then there are laid down procedures to follow. So for next time, both the executives, CBN, and of course the National Assembly to ensure that laid down procedure needs to be followed before we can take advantage of that ways and means to fund our budget.
All right. Some persons are beginning to ask if we didn't follow the rules, the procedure before we got to where we are. How are we sure that we'll have an executive that follows the rule? And what about the CBN? What role did CBN play then? We saw that the CBN was trying to defend this particular issue, talking about how that they were in a place where the federal government needed funds, and there was nothing they could do. They just had to avail the federal government these funds. Yeah, that's understandable. But then, did he also forget that there is a laid-down procedure that hasn't been followed? What happens if successive governments keep, probably jettisoning these procedures? What happens to the country?
Okay, it's very simple. Then, if I was the National Assembly, I would start an impeachment process for the president, and of course recommend that the CBN governor to also be arrested. Yes, because if we have had this experience and an incoming government or another CBN government is trying to do the same thing again, then of course the members of the National Assembly must play their constitutional role in terms of oversight function, checks and balances. So if they have done that and they have told the executive, no, you can't do this, that's what we are going through, and if they refuse them, it will start a business process for the president and of course the replacement for the CBN government.
Well, it would seem that the Senate's plan, before now, the Senate had invited the Minister of Finance and CBN, saying that they should present to it the procedure and how they came about, the 22 trillion naira loan. But that hasn't progressed so far. Does it mean that the Senate will probably not approve the securitization of the means and ways? Or what do you think will happen? And if they do not approve the securitization, are we, getting ready for a bigger problem? What's your thoughts really on this matter?
Yes, I think the members of the National Assembly will look at you. I mean, I've looked at everything. I think I will advise them, they should approve the
It's all right. Let's go to the second story now about imported vehicles. This is saying that used vehicle imports has fallen by 40%. And this is as a result of the regulation which says that, VIN must be provided for clearing of imported vehicles. What's your take on this?
Okay, if I hear you correctly, that is the importation of used vehicles has reduced by over 40%.
Yes.
Yes, and this is what some of us have been laboring for. Nigeria, we are not a dumping ground. I agree. Yes, the cost of purchasing a new vehicle is quite expensive, and Nigeria want to do with what they call maybe to Kubo or second-hand vehicles, and a lot of them are coming to the country. Now, we need to have it focus. We are not a dumping ground. And of course, we have other plants in Nigeria that can manufacture made in Nigerian vehicles. Let us patronize them. And of course, the ones that are coming in, let it come in the form of what we call CKD. So by the time they get them, we can assemble them. We cannot continue to import vehicles to Nigeria. And the vehicles we are importing, like you have said, is second-hand vehicles. And you can see the regulation of the custom associates has drastically reduced the importation. For me, anybody who wants to drive a second-hand vehicle or an importer wants to bring a second-hand vehicle should be made to pay from their loan so that we reduce and continue to reduce the amount of import of these second-hand vehicles coming into Nigeria.
Well, let me come in here. When you talk about second-hand vehicles, I mean, a lot of Nigerians, they prefer to import the second-hand vehicles rather than buy off, a neighbor or buy off someone and all that. And they will tell you it's because they believe those other ones are in better conditions. And so they say that the ones you buy from someone here in Nigeria, at the end of the day, you might find out that there's a lot of problem, or the vehicle has so many problems. And that's why some persons, I mean, I've interacted with a lot of Nigerians, and they will tell you they would rather buy the imported Tokumbo rather than buy from, Nigerians here. What do you make of that?
Yes, I agree with you. The way I say, we're looking at our national interest. We continue to import and we are affecting the value of our naira. We have come to a phase in our economic history where everybody has to play a role in terms of ensuring that we kickstart our economy. We cannot continue to depend on imported material, imported cars for too long. We need to really begin to look inward. Yes, I agree with you. For the average Nigerian, we prefer to buy the imported second-hand goods compared to buy from a neighbor because of the quality and of course the usage. But it's a time that we just have to see.
Right. Now, let's talk about the CBN now, saying that there is enough Naira, there is enough new Naira notes, and that there is no scarcity. First, I'd like to ask what your experience is. I know you're not in Lagos at the moment, and you're in a place where you probably get, it might be a little bit difficult, especially if it is not legal. So talk to us. What's the experience where you are?
Thank you very much, Rebecca. I've been waiting for this. We cannot stay in Lagos and know what is happening in other parts of the country. As I speak to you right now, with all due respect, in Pakani Delta State, Pakani local government, the bank in the Pakani local government said that there is no new Naira notes. The crowd of persons I saw at the bank today to deposit their own Naira notes is so enormous. And I was irritated because this announcement has been going on for a very long time. It's as if it is now Nigerians have now woken up to say they need to come and deposit their own Naira notes. I could see the crowd of young persons, the crowd of old women, the crowd of organizers, the crowd of council workers, everybody coming to the only bank that I have in my local government headquarters. I won't mention the name of the bank. They are coming to deposit money. And they have shut down every other activities of the bank. It's only that thing that the bank are even doing. I even tried to interview one or two bank officials there. They declined to speak to me when they got to that I was a media man. But however, an unknown source, he refused to disclose his name, said they are not going to work on Saturday. I said, okay, there is a rule that you can work on Saturday, but people can also work on Saturday. He said, no, it is the only bank in the local government for now. Local government headquarters, they don't work on Saturday. So you can see that CBN will give directives. Some of these banks are not carrying them out. Yes, they will say because it's a bank like the rural area. They will have economic activity going on in the rural areas. And these persons are not being forced to come to the bank to naira notes. The crowd that I saw is too much.
Well, apart from the crowd, when people eventually get into the banks, are they able to exchange their monies for the new naira note, or they are just depositing the monies?
Yes, that is one thing the bank and CBN will clarify to us. What I saw there, it is not the EFC. The banks are not giving out the new naira notes. They are only encouraging people to deposit their own naira notes.
My fear is, okay, go ahead. Can I come in now?
Yes, come in.
All right. So my fear is this: when they deposit these old naira notes, what happens by 31st of January, or let's say by 1st of February? Where will they get money to make purchase with? Where will they get money to make transactions with if they are not getting the new naira notes?
That's the new naira notes. Yes. I think it's a thing we have to go through. They are trying to encourage people to do some transfer, cashless. Yes, and I will assure you, and I will tell you, in my village right now, a lot of people are now trying to get used to that transfer. And people that know at 2,000 naira, they are doing that transfer because they have come to see that that is the only way to go now. And I know change is difficult for everybody, even the educated people. Change takes time. So it is the new, and we must begin to develop that habit. For me, it's an issue of behavioral change. It is habit, and we need to begin to encourage it. Yes, let people who have toys, let them continue to let people begin to see how they can be doing transfer. I know it's a little bit awkward and uncomfortable initially, but as time goes on, we are not going to get on to it. Look at the crowd. Wow, you want to buy something 2,000 naira? Please do your transfer. Or if you have your card, the merchant or the trader has maybe the POS machine. You swipe. We should begin to develop that habit. And that's why CBN and the bank need to do a lot of work to sensitize the local. Because I think I'm going to be doing that in the evening town meeting to talk to some of the locals and to get involved in the cashless economy.
All right, let's go back to CBN and its policy, really. We remember that it was between Thursday and Friday last week that the CBN started monitoring ATM machines. It was around that same period that the CBN also talked about the fact that agents should start exchanging monies for people, for individuals. It was also around that time that the CBN started market enlightenment. Now, when you look at that time compared to when the deadline is supposed to be, does it look to you like the CBN is really prepared or was prepared for this? Because it would seem that the things it was supposed to do earlier, it's just doing it now. And at the end of the day, who will be at the brunt of all these? It is us at the end of the day.
That's a very good concern. Yes, people like us, we are concerned. It's really talk about cash swap, you know. Like you have said, in like local government in my village now, how many people understand that what that cash swap is? Yes, we have seen some points, a number of money agents, usually first banks, sorry to mention that name, and the agents connecting the old naira notes are trying to, exchange that. Then the new naira notes are not even available. That is the issue. They are not available. They are not collect and record for you. So, yes, the CBN is doing enlightening at that hour of the time. Yes, the CBN did not do so well. This is have started long ago. However, we should also look. People thought that the government or maybe the CBN were not too serious about that. They were going to extend it like every other Nigerian thing. They are going to extend it. Yes, it's now being convenient that I think my advice to CBN will be let us stick to the deadline. And whatever consequences that will come, the average Nigerian will just have to. It's a price that we must pay to stabilize money supply in the system, at the same time try to prevent people from using excessive cash or keeping excessive cash in their water closet or in their soccer
Mr. Charles, I see how optimistic you are, and I can see that you're an apostle of cashless society. But we're looking at the timing. We're looking at the people that are involved. When I get to the market, it's not you I meet in the market. I mean, it's not my colleagues I meet when I get to the market. It is that woman who doesn't even know how to use a phone. It is that woman who needs to tell her neighbor to help her call her son, even though she has a phone with her. These are the people we're going to be making transactions with, and these are the people I feel that the CBN should have considered long before now, and not just making it an afterthought. Maybe after they heard some of the things we've said on television, radio, in the papers, and the dailies, maybe that was when they changed their mind and remembered that they were supposed to take enlightenment and education to the rural areas, to the people who will need this education. But very quickly, just this morning, well, yesterday, of course, there was a report from the APC presidential candidate, where he was saying that the redesigned Naira note and the scarcity of fuel are all geared towards coupling the election. What do you make of that statement? Now we're focusing on the redesigned Naira note. He said it's all geared towards coupling the election, and then we saw the opposition party, making mockery of him. But let me get your thoughts on that.
It's quite very funny that a presidential aspirant will make that kind of comment when you don't party like even the government of the day. That be by the side. CBN has a constitutional right following the CBN Act that from time to time, maybe 5 years, to redesign the nation's currency. And what the CBN has done is nothing out of that. It is constitutional. So if a presidential aspirant is coming to tell us that the redesign of Naira is stopping the election, I think we should begin to examine that presidential aspirant. We even speak to the Nigerian president. Because it is not a Nigerian thing. From time to time, countries all over the world redesign their currency. And now we have to check money laundering, to check excessive cards outside the system, to even check counterfeiting. Even advanced nations, the United States, US, they do this from time to time. So why in Nigeria we are doing it now? A presidential aspirant of a ruling party will come to national television or radio and TV and begin to make those kind of allegations. Then Nigerians will shine their eyes.
Well, very quickly, let's talk about this particular story about recycling waste. First, how well do you think companies in Nigeria are doing, in championing courses such as this particular one?
Yes, I think I want to give some of the few companies who are taking that as part of their own strategy. That because it is not just a fad or a facade, it is something they are taking as part of their strategy, from their planning, their production, consumption, how they distribute their goods, they are still there. Some companies like in the stock market that we have in the consumer goods sector, I will not mention their name, we are seeing that even the product that they will sell to you, saying this is already recycled, that is the container. So we are seeing that I can only speak for some companies that are listed in the stock market because of the reporting standard of the NGS and other activities that you want to begin to imply sustainability into their business operation. So many of these companies, whether in the beauty sector, whether in the financial sector, whether in the manufacturing sector, agri sector, they are beginning to implement some of these things that we see is quite improvement in terms of their production, how they are using environmentally friendly. So I think yes, the companies are doing that. There is more still need to be done because some of the local manufacturers are not still aware that some of their waste products can be converted to useful raw material for other industries to be used. So a lot of work needs to be done. Of course, the agencies concerned, the issue of environment, the issue of industry should continue to make policy and talk to these manufacturers. Even small SMEs, some of their what they manufacture can constitute environmental problem. But if they are aware that you can process some of your waste, reduce the harmful effects before you discharge to the environment, they are going to one way to sustain this planet. Because I've always said, you don't have any other planet to go, you don't need planet Earth, that me and you can say. And for any company producing or doing business in the country must follow and understand, recognize the triple bottom line, which is people, planet, and profit. Before I will know that you are really doing real business in the country. So coming to waste management, yes, the companies are doing their best, but more needs to be done in terms of awareness so that everybody will be aware. And not that you manufacture, you produce waste, should be aware of the harmful effect of those untreated waste if they are, taking to the environment without being treated.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us on the show today.
Thank you for having me, Perpetua.
All right. We've been speaking with Charles Fakruha, stockbroker and iBrandTV senior business analyst. We'll take a break now. When we come back, Brent crude futures dipped 4 cents or 0.1% to $86.08 per barrel in early trading, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate WTI crude futures rose 18 cents or 0.2% to $80.33. Details of this and more after the break. Stay with us.